when it comes to freaking the Masons, to be honest, I've found absolutely nothing showing that they're trying to take over the world. And like,
well, I have.
I mean,
but it's difficult to.
If you have it,
difficult to put your finger on it.
Share it. I mean, I'd love to hear it. You know.
Sure, can do.
And
but
not only that, Roger, how you were saying, like, not making statements that you're unaware of. People think the only way to accumulate knowledge is through books, and books are an essential tool to learning. But some people are enlightened through other avenues, and the fact that that's discredited for people's limited knowledge, unless it comes from books, makes it discouraging for people who've actually put in real work to become enlightened, real actual experience with the connection to the universe to become the illuminated. So it kind of bothers people when it's discredited because, well, we didn't read about that in a book. And so I would like for us to just make sure we're keeping all avenues. This is, after all, conspiracy.
Right.
I'm just talking crazy. And so it might not be any truth or validity in what I'm saying. But there is a possibility that there is.
You make a good point.
Let me just clear this up too. Now let me clear this up. I was saying that's the way I've done it. And you guys know that. I've openly said it to both of you. Okay, so I was just clearing it up that was how I dealt with things. I wasn't saying anybody or anybody else, just that was the way I was doing it.
The Masons get associated with everything that is evil. Everyone says that automatically the Masons are evil in regards to their action or practices because some Masons do certain things. That would be like how it is for us melanin people. All melanin men are going to be bad melanin men because they're melanin men. And so we'll just target them. And like that type of stuff gets, why is there a white squirrel out here?
Well,
that type of stuff gets frustrating because you can't say just because you're a Mason, you're connected to this. Or just because not even just because you're a Mason, hold on, you study Masonry. Because you can study Masonry.
Before we get onto I just want to say something about what you said before. I 100% agree with you about different types of information. And actually, most of the deep spiritual lineages say that knowledge is kind of irrelevant if you're speaking about spirituality, speaking about enlightenment. Knowledge actually kind of holds you back from that because access to your higher self is through experience, right? And not necessarily through thinking, okay? It's about non-thought, really. So William Cooper used to say, talk to everyone, read everything, experience what you can, and then make up your own mind, you know? So like a lot of information can come to you just through living life. And so I agree with that.
Well, no, I was just saying, you were citing sources about them saying knowledge is useless. Every source that I've ever encountered have told me and have taught that knowledge is the foundation of all things in existence. I've never once heard anyone say that it was useless until you. And so I just was wondering, like, if you could cite some of those sources
that's
that
what he
you
was
read
getting
that
ready
said
to do,
that,
Cooper.
Because that makes me...
I don't think I said knowledge was useless. I just said I think I have evidence that the Freemasons on the higher levels have a malicious agenda. But in saying that, I think like 99% of Freemasons are actually pretty good people, or like maybe not 99, maybe like 80%. Then there's a few that are greedy. But you know, Freemasonry originally was actually meant to be it's a what do you call it? It's a parable to basically say you are the builder of your own soul, and you can build yourself up to be a better person, right? Through these ancient knowledges and wisdoms, you should be able to turn your lead into gold, which is like old school alchemy, right? Being able to turn your base desires into an enlightened being. Okay, so it's actually meant to be a good thing. It's meant to be. So
are alchemists evil as well?
No, it's not. Well, alchemy is just simply turning an animal into a god, you know?
Alchemy, first of all, is a tool. Now, they used alchemy to like a person would use a hammer. You know what I mean? It wasn't. You could be an alchemist and you could be a part of a cult or a sect or whatever it was, but that doesn't mean that cult or sect were the only alchemists. You could be in one of 1,000 different alchemist groups. You know what I'm saying?
There's simply people that tried a bunch
Just
of
like-
different
just
things,
like
and the ones
with,
that worked
secret
preserve that
society.
information.
No.
The reason they kept it a secret is because there was other sects, like the church, for example, that tried to limit the higher knowledge for the people to maintain control. So the witch burnings and stuff like that was all about getting rid of the psychics so that the church could maintain power over the people, right? So they had to operate in secret. That even Christians, early Christians, had to hide underground to be able to meet up so that they could do their spiritual practices. And it's the same with the magic practices. All that stuff had to be
You
hidden
mean for
from
them
the
to
people who were
gather
in
to
power.
determine when they were going to burn the witches? They had to meet up in secret so that the witches, or the sages, but I mean the witches, the people that actually understood and was connected to the universe, were killed because they were lacking the knowledge that was given to them by God. Basically, so they had to meet. They created these secret societies that are now threatening to take over the world. Or am I misunderstanding? Because I mean, basically, how it extends just how it sounds. It sounds like the people that were extremely spiritual got attacked by people that were greedy and would like to wish they could be like them, but because they could not, made it seem like they were bad people. They looked to taint their character, to minimize them, to make it look like they lacked the knowledge that they actually had, or that it was useless. And regardless,
Yes.
they met secretly to attempt to destroy them. Yes, and now they are still. This is what it's just trickled down to. They passed it on to their kids. They just generation to generation to generation. We kill those people even though they're better than us because we can't be like them. And instead of humbling ourselves to learn it, we're just going to get rid of them and steal their stuff. And that became the norm. That's okay. The people that can actually do it get to do it, because the people that wish they could do it and would not even humble themselves to the universe to be able to accumulate the same power. They would never go broke for the sake of God and in total enlightenment. They would instead rob somebody who was willing to put in the work and do what they had to do in order for them to get where they're going. And then when it's time for them to get their rewards, kind of attempt to intercept it, because those people have to operate humbly. They have to operate on an illuminated light, which we know means not being evil, right?
You've got to take the time period into consideration too. Like, these people were living very harsh lives, okay? They had to worry about their life. The church had possession of their bodies. See, you had possession of your soul, but the church had possession over your body. All right, so if you went against the church and the church's beliefs, then they had the right to kill you. I mean, that was just the way it was. So you have to take that into consideration.
And it's the way it is today, even basically, with modern day governments now.
Mm-hmm.
The perfect representation about what you just said, Karma, for those listening, if you want to just get it in your head in a short sentence, is it's represented in Star Wars when they talk about the light and the dark side of the Force, right? Which is basically service to self and service to others. Those who are self-serving end up trying to fight and beat down those who...
Oh, I lost them again. Let me get on here and get back going. That was getting good. Let me on there.
And all these ancient religions actually speak about this force in different ways, whether it's mana, prana, life force, like we have these words, we have it represented in art all around the world. It's right in front of us. But we've been disconnected from it because of these old practices from the church, basically giving us practices that don't work. Because, Jesus wasn't part of the church. He wasn't a Christian. That came later when these systems of control started to be put in place. That's why kings became Christians, because they could rule people through spirituality. And what you were saying, Roger, before is they don't own your soul, but through contracts and through agreements, you can actually give away your power to an organization or a church or a person, for example. And by that, you limit your own power.
Well, I mean, I'm talking
Or
about
only accept the power that they're able to instill in you.
Today,
they only allow you to receive certain types
today
of power.
You have,
it's like kind of putting like a Neuralink in people's head, where all of a sudden they're unable to think for themselves. Their words are all jumbled. I'm sure words are all jumbled, but now that power goes to the person whose words used to be all jumbled. You know what I mean? Maybe they used to not be able to formulate concepts or hold thought, or even be able to comprehend the realm of spirituality, but they insert that Neuralink and all of a sudden they are Plato or Nostradamus, and it's just so amazing because this makes it so amazing.
But the choice. All the stuff you're saying right there,
this same type of achievement can be done without having
all the stuff you're saying right there was pointless. It didn't happen back in that time period.
Ever. Long before there was an Illuminati or a Masonry or these names, words. Long before there were words, it was us. And that's
it's in our DNA. It's ancient, for sure.
We're not able to describe it, but yet we're putting limits on it. We're saying we're putting limits on a limitless existence, a limitless being. We're saying that this is going to fall into this box because it makes me comfortable. And see, that's the issue with this whole new world order thing.
I was muted. Let me go over what I was talking about. Now, I understand what you guys are saying, but let me clarify what I was saying. I'm talking about in history, during that time period, there was no contract. You belonged to the church, period. You were put to death because you lived there. Okay, there was, you didn't make an agreement with the church. The church came and told you, you're our subjects. Okay, kings and queens put you to death because you had the audacity to wear something that frickin' royal people wear. Okay, you didn't wear royal shoes. If you wear nice dresses and stuff like that, you were considered a harlot for wearing the royal gowns. You know what I'm saying? You had to, of course, been a prostitute, so that means that you had to be put to death. That's the mentality that was going on during that time period. All right, that's not like today. I mean, you can't.
Yeah, you can fake the funk all you want today. Today we'll put a super model gown on a freaking whore and call her royalty. They call queens to these hoes that if you shake her ass on TV, it's yes, queen, yes. But if you actually have some education about yourself, you're and so we can get a different type of image of you. Yes, absolutely. I completely agree, Roger, and that's why I'm still here.
Well, gotta get through. There is a bit of reality in the world. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like hearing it, but it is true. That's the way they treated people. You know what I mean? You just didn't get away with with doing stuff.
That's the way they treat people even today. Like you just said, you know, like they tried to dumb us down back then, and now they just do it through technological and other means today.